All right, hello. So everybody, my name is Steve, good to be here, and this talk is going to be lit. So I just learned that word yesterday for the parents out there, so hopefully I used it correctly, I don't even know. So I want to start things by introducing you to a character from the movie Up, the dog Doug.
My master made me this collar so that I may talk. Squirrel! Hi there.
As you can see, Doug has the attention span of a gnat. And I love this clip because it reminds me of each and every one of us, right? Instead of being distracted by squirrels, we're distracted by cell phones. Text message! Where was I? Okay, so a recent study found that over the past 15 years, the human attention span, average attention span, has dropped from 12 seconds down to 8 seconds, which means no one's paying attention anymore. That's kind of a bummer. I put a lot of work into this talk. So the other interesting thing about that study was they found that average goldfish has a 9-second attention span. 9 seconds. A little disturbing, right? So I dug further into the research, and I found it's not the best research study, but the problem is there's not a lot of research on attention span. But we can all agree on probably one thing, which is that all of our attention spans are declining at an exponential rate. It's terrible. And why is that? Because we're in a battle for attention span. It's a war out there. Everybody's trying to get our eyeballs. There's all these different things happening, right? Whether it's HBO, Netflix, Instagram, texting, Snap, BuzzFeed, Reddit, YouTube, Twitter. All these different things are grabbing our attention. I don't know about you, but when I turn on Netflix to chill, what happens? I turn on a show, and if it doesn't grab me within 2 minutes, not watching it, nah. Right? So I spend more time scrolling than I do chilling. It's ridiculous. So why do we effectively have a hard time keeping people engaged? Well, there's a couple different things that I hear. The first thing is I don't have the tools or the skill set to keep people engaged. The second thing is, well, people don't listen anymore, people are lazy, they're on their phones. And I don't want us to use either of these excuses, because the game has changed. We live in a world where phones aren't going away. So we have to step up our ability to engage and interact with people. And the thing is, we've been spoiled. We've never had to work for people's attention span, so we feel entitled to it. We now have to work for it. So what's the secret? How can you keep people engaged? A really great kiss. You know the type where the silver foil wrapper comes off and the chocolate melts in your mouth. What were you thinking about, sir? Were you thinking about, I don't know, French kissing, making out, snogging, or as they say in Australia, a PASSH, mate, a PASSH. So that's the acronym we're going to use today to remember how to keep people engaged. PASSH. What that stands for is passion, analogies, succinct, stories, and humor. So that's what we need to use, okay? Now, let's start with the first one. Now, I'm a leadership consultant, and I've coached leaders all around the world. And one of the things I do is work on communication, leadership, mindset, and these are some key skills that they use. So we'll start with the first one, P for passion. All right, I'm going to ask you guys to pair up with the person next to you. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to think about something you're really, really passionate about. So it could be your family, it could be Netflix, it could be talking about clipping toenails. Just want to make sure you're still with me. Hopefully you're still with me. Yes, you're still with me. Okay, that's good. You're not going to talk about that, obviously. But you're going to talk about it in a way where you could care less. So you might go, I love NBA basketball. The playoffs are coming. It's going to be absolutely amazing. If you're looking at the stage, the person on the right is going to talk. The other one's going to listen. 5 seconds. Go for it right now. All right, perfect. You guys can stop just right there. Now what we're going to do, we're going to turn it on its head. So what you're going to do this time is you're going to talk about something you could care less about, something that doesn't matter to you, but you're going to talk about it with a lot of passion. Okay, so it could be something like, I love painting the house. There's nothing I'd rather do than paint the house on the weekend. First, you got to neurotically prep, so you tape every corner, and then you paint 3 coats so your house stinks all weekend. That's what I want to do. I love painting. Okay, so do me a favor. Go ahead with the person next to you. Same thing, 5 seconds, go. A lot of energy in this room. Come on, guys. There we go. Loving that energy. Okay, you guys can stop right there. So the question is, first, as a listener, which one was easier to listen to? The first or the second? Definitely the second. So it's easier for you to listen to. And then secondly, what is the interesting thing is if you kept talking, you'd find that you were also probably passionate about that thing. I'd be like, oh my gosh, painting's not so bad. Maybe I like painting. I'm going to go paint right now. So you start to get interested in what you're actually talking about. And I'm not telling you to be an exaggerated Broadway star, to be like, hi, I'm Steve, and let's talk about taxes. April 15th's coming. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you can increase your passion just a little bit, and there's lots of ways to display passion. It could be a lot of movement. It could be talking really quickly and sharing some ideas. It could be smiling. It could be gestures. It could be movement. All these different things. It could be words, inflection, voice. Words are powerful. That's amazing, life-changing, incredible. So you express passion the way that works for you, but do it just a bit more and get out of your comfort zone. Why does passion work? Because it makes it easier for the listener. Analogies. Complex stuff is boring. And if you have the skill to make complex stuff interesting, you're incredibly talented. This man right here, John Oliver from HBO, incredibly gifted at it. He's talked about cryptocurrencies, net neutrality, and all this complex stuff. What's one of his secret tools? Analogies. Why do analogies work? Because they make the unfamiliar familiar. Because you're talking about something I can connect with, something I can relate to, something I understand. And one of my personal favorite analogies is words are a lot like toothpaste. Once you squeeze toothpaste out of the can, you can't put it back in. So be careful what you say. So why do analogies work? Because they make you relatable. Being succinct, which is really getting to the point. Now imagine I put a slide like this up and I said, I want to introduce you, tell you a little bit about myself. How do you feel? Overwhelmed, exhausted, annoyed, irritated, right? That's a terrible thing. And so the interesting thing is, how do we feel when people ramble? This is exactly how it feels when people just go on and on and on. So what's the secret? This man right here holds the secret. This is Blaise Pascal, a mathematician from the 1600s. He said, I would have written you a shorter letter, but I didn't have the time. So ironically, if you want to speak less or say less, you have to prep more and spend more time on it, like writing a paper, editing, reducing it down. And if you want your succinct words to be really impactful, you got to use signal words. In conclusion, if there's one thing you want to focus on, if you're going to take away a key point, or Mom, can I have money? Those signal words tend to work really well. So why does being succinct work? Because it signals less is more. And then we have stories. Who doesn't love stories as long as they're boring? But you know what's really boring? Commercials. Commercials are boring. The Journal of Marketing Research found that the best commercials weren't those with, the beautiful actresses and Hollywood people, nor puppies. The best commercials were the ones with the most compelling plots and stories. As human beings, we love stories. They're ingrained in our DNA. So why do we love them? Because they ignite emotion. And stories don't have to be long to ignite emotion. I want to tell you a story about my friend John. Lives in New York City alone. About 10 months ago, he was sleeping really hot. The apartment got really hot, kept one leg out of his cover, and a hand touched his foot. Ooh, creepy, freaky. Fortunately, that's not a true story. But you can see, just in that moment, a feeling was created. Stories are things we talk about. We want to share. We want to feel. So why do stories work? Because they ignite emotion. Then we've got humor. Yes, that is a dog learning about chasing cars. But one of the things I love is Mark Twain said, humor is humankind's greatest gift. Humor is incredible. I love it. It resets the attention span, helps you focus, activates learning centers of the brain, and it makes most things in life more enjoyable. But the thing is, being funny or making people laugh or using humor can be tough. However, there's some key strategies you can use, whether it's being sarcastic, potentially physical humor, wit, jokes, things like that. I'll give you a couple examples. Self-deprecation. So I've been working out, huh? Don't worry if you can't tell. Neither can anybody else, okay? Or a pun. I asked a Frenchman what video game he loved. He said, oui. It's an internet joke. I'm not going to claim property on that one. And then another one, what about observations you make? Have you ever noticed there's certain professions where you can't smile? Like a surgeon. You don't want the guy coming in, so we're going to open you up, cut you up, huh? How's that going to go? It's going to be good, right? Probably not going to work. So with humor, that thing is it's advanced. So you want to think about your audience. There's certain people and types of situations where maybe potty humor isn't appropriate. Dad jokes probably aren't always funny from time to time. And the thing is, you want to be smart about that. But if you test it out with the right audience and someone says, it's gooch, that means it's good. I just learned that one yesterday, too. So go ahead and try some things. So why does humor work? Because it's refreshing. So I want to leave you with this. Think about an orchestra where there's all these different instruments. You've got the brass, you've got the percussion, you've got strings. And communication is a lot like this. Imagine if you watched the orchestra play and you just saw all these instruments sitting around, but one instrument was being played. You'd be interested for a little while, but then you get bored and move on. So if we're going to keep people engaged, we have to use all of our communication instruments, whether it's passion, analogies, succinct, story, humor, and more. And we have to infuse it in how we speak. And we have to earn that right for people's attention because it's valuable. So I want to encourage you guys all to go out there and PASSH someone. Thank you so much, guys.